the next part in the simplex method, and that is somewhat extension of simplex method we have in linear programming. This part is referred as our two phase method for solving problems of linear programming problem LPP. So, as the label suggests, it is clearly evident from this information two phase method. It indicates that the simplex table, in this case simplex table, is solved in two phases. Yes, that still it is a simplex method, but is somewhat extension of our simplex method. But in this case, the problem statement that is given to us, that is being solved in two phases. That is why the name is given in this way. So, what we are doing in these two phases, if I require to do a briefing. So, what we do in that phase 1, artificial variable is eliminated from the table, from the basis. This is what we do in the first phase, that we make a few modifications in simplex table that we will discuss, but using those modifications what we do is that we make an attempt to remove the artificial variable from the basis, and then we reaches to the phase 2. Yes, once we remove the artificial variable, only after that we make a progress for phase 2. And in phase 2 what we do that the last part, the last iteration that we got, okay, that we got from phase 1 is taken, it is considered as your initial basic feasible solution. Yes, this is what we do in a two phase method, that in phase 1 we make an attempt to remove the artificial variable. If we are unable to eliminate the artificial variable from the phase 1, okay, we cannot progress towards a phase 2. And in phase 2 what we do is that the last table, because we know that simplex is a iterative process, and in that multiple tables that we receive. So, the last iteration that we got, okay, from the phase 1, that is something which is considered as our input for the phase 2, and then we begin with our phase 2, and in that we solve the given problem. So, in detail now, if I have to discuss these things, let me write down the steps of solving. Okay, the steps. So, very first step is that, okay, let me write in two part in this. If the LPP, linear programming problem, is of minimization type, it is of minimization type, we convert that into a maximization type. This is the first step of our solution, that minimization is converted into maximization, and we do not require to discuss on this in detail, because we have already discussed that a minimization problem cannot be solved directly using a simplex method. For that we require to convert that into a maximization. So, that limitation is continued here as well, that if you have a minimization problem, we make an attempt to convert that into a maximization type. And what is part 2? That if you have less than or equals to type constraints, okay, if you have less than or equals to type constraint, we don't need the phase 1. Yes, phase 1 is not needed, it is not required. Directly we can begin with our phase 2, and phase 2 is basically nothing but your simplex table itself. Okay, we will discuss in this later, but for a while we can keep in our mind that if you have all the inequalities as less than or equals to type, okay, I am relabeling that all the constraints, okay, means if there are 3 constraint equation and for all these 3 constraint if you have a less than or equals to type, phase 1 is not required to be performed, but at least one of the constraint has a greater than or equals to sign. Okay, if you have at least one as a greater than or equals to sign, so in that case what we do is that we add a surplus variable and along with that we also add artificial variable. This we know. Yes, we have discussed about this, that greater than or equals to type constraints we have. So in that case it is important for us that we have to add 2 variables, one is artificial and second one is our surplus variable. So these are the initial constraints. If you have all the constraints as a less than or equals to type, so in that case you don't need a 2-phase method. Okay, only when you have a greater than or equals to type constraint, in that case you require to add surplus variable plus artificial variable, because if I discuss this part again, so in phase 1 it is evident that artificial variable is eliminated from the table, from the basis. So if you do not have any artificial variable present in the table itself, if all the constraints are less than or equals to type, so in that case definitely you have to begin with the phase 2, and phase 2 is nothing but our simplex table that we are following since number of lectures. So what is the conclusion of this part is that when we have a greater than or equals to type constraints, only in that case we have to perform 2-phase method. So this is clear. Okay, and what is second step? If I write the second step here, that now in phase 1 what I will do, that the value of all the CJs, okay, CJ values for all the decision variables, has to considered as a 0. Except artificial variable. Yes, that in phase 1 modifications that I require to do is that the CJ values that we know. What are CJ values? It is nothing but the coefficient of variable, decision variable in your objective function, that is our CJ. So if I have an objective function which is of max 3x plus 2y, so in that case what I will do, that the coefficient of x and y, which are 3 and 2 right now, so that I have to consider it as a 0. But for artificial variable this is not applicable. What we have to do for artificial variable? So for artificial variable, CJ value has to be taken as a -1. Yes, the CJ value that we have to take, okay, in this case it will be -1. Objective function value of CJ is -1. So your objective function in this case, when we begin with the phase 1, okay, it will be 0x plus 0y plus 0s1 plus 0s2 minus a1. We will see still this in detail, but it is clear from this phase 1 that that CJ values for all the decision variables that we have to take as a 0, and for the artificial variable that has to be taken as a -1. Okay, and what we have to do is that I have to perform iterations. Till artificial variable eliminates. eliminates. Okay. Once the artificial variable get eliminated, what we have to do is that we have to go on the phase 2. What we will do is that as discussed that the last iteration of phase 1 has to be taken as IBFS, initial basic feasible solution, means the same table we have to begin with over here. The first iteration, that will be nothing but the last table from the phase 1, and second one is that assign actual Cj values to all decision variables. Assign actual Cj values to all the decision variables and assign 0 to the artificial variable. Yes, this part is clear. That in phase 2 what we do is that the last iteration that we got from the phase 1, and that has to be considered as the initial basic feasible solutions. From that time we have to continue phase 2. Definitely you require a new table for phase 2, and in the phase 2 what we will do, that we will assign the actual coefficients of your objective functions, means actual Cj values to the all decision variables, and for the artificial variable that has to be 0. So, in this way your two phase method works. So, if I take one example for the same, if I take one numerical of two phase method, let me write a numerical here which is of maximization type max z equals to 3x1 plus 6x2 which is subjected to 2x1 plus x2 is less than equals to 4, 3x1 plus 6x2 is less than or equals to 18, and x1 plus x2 is greater than or equals to 2, subjected to x1 and x2 are greater than 0. So, very first thing that we have to observe over here is that is the numerical is applicable for two phase method or what. So, here I can see that I have one greater than or equals to sign. So, it means there will be one artificial variable. So, it is evident that this numerical can be solved using a two phase method. So, if I begin with the two phase method, the very first thing that I have to do is that conventionally what we are doing is that inequalities are required to be converted into equalities. So, if I do that, so in this case the constant equation will be 2x1 plus x2 plus s1 equals to 4, 3x1 plus 6x2 plus s2 equals to 18, and x1 plus x2 minus s3 plus a1 equals to 2, subjected to x1, x2, s1, s2, s3 and a1 are greater than or equals to 0. So, this part is done. Now, to talk about objective function, here objective function as per our discussion in phase 1, what we have to do is that objective function, that all the coefficients of decision variables that we have to take as a 0, and the artificial variable it is assigned a Cj value of -1. So, objective function in this case it will be minus a1. Yes, as I have only one artificial variable over here. So, now if I begin with my phase 1, okay, let me write here my phase 1. So in phase 1, very first value column is for Cj. This is my basic variable. And then I have a solution column, and then x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, a1, and this is my replacement ratio. So table remains same as it is for solving two-phase method. Only thing that will change is over here is that now these Cj values, this all I have to take as a 0 as per our discussion, and this will be minus 1. So this part is very clear. It is easy for us to write the headers. Now if I put all this data okay, that I have over here in the simplex table, let me just move this. Okay, now it is still visible. Good. Okay. So basic variables in this case for the first iteration. In the first equation it is s1, s2 and a1. This coefficients are 0, 0. This one is minus 1, and if I fill all this data over here, that 4, 2, 1, 1, 0. For the second row it will be 18, 3, 6, 0, 1, 0, 0, and here it will be 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, minus 1 and plus 1. Now if I compute a zj variable over here, so it is minus 2, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 0, minus minus plus 1, and this is again minus 1. So if I do a zj minus cj here, so pardon, that I have to write here zj minus cj. So minus 1, 0 is minus 1. This is again minus 1, 0, that is my minus 1. Then here I have a 0, 0, 1, minus 1, minus minus 1, that will be my plus 1. So that will be 0. So this is what I get over here. Now in this case it is visible that I have two options for incoming row. Okay, that either x1 variable can enter or x2 variable can enter in this case. So what I have to do is that randomly I have to decide that which particular variable I allow to enter. Okay, I can randomly allow. Okay, so randomly I am just allowing a variable x1 to enter. Okay, you may also allow x2 variables to enter. So if I do that, so this becomes my key column. Replacement ratio, if I want to compute for outgoing variables, so 4 divided by 2, that is 2 here, 18 divided by 3, so that is 6, and 2 divided by 1, that is my 2. So here again I have a tie for outgoing variables. At two distinct locations I am getting 2 as my living variable. So we know that as per our discussion that randomly we can select any particular variable as our living variable. You may select s1 as our living variable as well as you select a1 as our living variable. But we know that the importance of your phase 1 is that to eliminate your artificial variable 1. Yes, artificial variable that we have to eliminate. So what I am doing is that I am providing a thrust over here to eliminate artificial variable a1, so that in a list iteration I can begin with my phase 2. So if I am highlighting this part, okay, this will become my key row. Yes. So what is evident from this part is that a1 is my living variable, at the same time x1 is my entering variable. So if I begin this, if I continue the second step of this phase 1, yes, now it is visible to us all. Yes. So in the column of Cj variables, okay, Cj variables, let me write here first the values, that s1 remains as it is, s2 remains as it is, a1 is replaced by my x1, and this 3 have the Cj values as a 0 0 0, this we know. Okay. So, if I write a column, if I write the cells values for the A1 row, means now for x1 row, so that is 1 is already present at a key variable location. Okay. So, if I straight away write, if I straight away fill all these values, so 2 1 1 0 0 minus 1 and 1, I have filled the cells. Now what I have to do is that to make a 0 over here, okay, what I have to do is that I require to multiply this row by 2, by 3. So if I make a multiplication over here by 3, let me write over here. Okay, I am writing at this end. 3 is my multiplying factor, so this will become 6 3 3 0 0 minus 3 and 3. Yes, I have multiplied this entire row by 3. So 6, then 3 3 0 0 minus 3 and 3. Now I have to subtract it. So 18 minus 6, so that is 12, then 3 minus 3, that is 0, 6 minus 3 is 3, then 0 minus 0 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, and 0 minus minus 3, it gives me a plus 3, and 0 minus 3, it will give me a value of minus 3. Yes, this part is clear. Yes, 18 minus 6, that is 12, 3 minus 3, that is 0, 6 minus 3, 6 minus 3 is 3, 0 minus 0 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus minus 3 is plus 3, and 0 minus 3 is my minus 3. So this part is clear to us. If I make an attempt to fill the cell in this particular row, so what I will do, that I have to multiply this by 2. So if I am doing that, multiplying factor, if I write here 2, so 2 2s are 4, and then 2 here, 2 0 0 minus 2 and 2. Yes, these are the values that I am getting here after multiplying this factor by 2. So what I will get here, see, 4 minus 4, that is 0, 2 minus 2, that is 0, then 1 minus 2 is minus 1, then for the S1, 1 minus 0 is 1, then 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus minus 2 is plus 2, and this will be minus 2. Okay. And if I compute Zj over here, so that will be 0 0 0 for all the case, and if I do a Zj minus Cj in this case, so it will be 0 over here, 0, because see, all the values I have taken as a 0, and this will become my plus 1. Yes, because 0 minus minus 1, okay, that we took initially at the beginning. So here ends our phase 1. Yes, here ends our phase 1. Now I have to begin with the phase 2. So in phase 2, what I have to do is that all these things will be there: Cj column, basic variable, solution column, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3. Means in phase 2, as I have eliminated my artificial variable in my phase 1, I will not consider artificial variable over here. So now in this case, there will be only 5 decision variables, and the 6 will be my replacement ratio. It's the replacement ratio. And if I write the Cj values over here, so that I have to write the actual values. So if you recall your initial objective function, okay, let me show you once again. So it was 3x1 plus 6x2. Okay, so if I write that part, so 3 6, and this 3 will be 0 0. So my header is ready for my phase 2. Here I have made only two changes. One is that artificial variable column is eliminated. That was the function of your phase 1, that was the objective function of your phase 1. And the second change that I have made over here is that I have plot the actual values of my objective function in this case. And what I have to do is that now here I require to take the last iteration table of our first phase as my initial basic feasible table. So there were three variables S1, S2 and X1. So I am rewriting that part, okay, and the coefficients that if I write over here now 0 0 will be over here and this will be my 3, okay, because now X1 has a Cj value of 3. And if I write all these cell values, okay, quickly, so this cell values will be 0 0 minus 1 1 0 and 2. For the second it will be 12 0 3 0 1 and 3, and for the third one it is 2 1 1 0 0 and minus 1. Yes, this cell values I have filled from the last iteration. Okay, now if I do compute a Zj here, so it will be 6, then this is 3, this is again 3 0 0 and this will be minus 3. If I do a Zj minus Cj here, so 3 minus 3 is 0, 3 minus 6 is 3 minus 6 is minus 3 0 0 and minus 3 0 is minus 3. So again I have two options, but as I want x2 as my decision variable, okay, that I will select x2 as my incoming variable. So if I am selecting x2 as my incoming variable, corresponding to that this will become my key column. Yes, randomly I am selecting here that you may allow S3 as the incoming variable, that is even fine, but I am allowing x2 over here. Now if I compute a replacement ratio, so this is not permissible, this is not permissible over here, then this 12 divided by 3, that is 4, 12 divided by 3, that is 4, and 2 divided by 1, that is my 2. So what it indicates that x1 is my now living variable. Yes, x1 is our living variable in this step, and corresponding to that x2 will be my incoming variable. So now if I slightly move this upward so that I can write the second iteration, okay, so if I do that, let me write over here S1 S2 as it is, and x1 will be replaced by x2 and their coefficient is 0 0 and 6. Yes, this was my key row. Yes, so key variable itself is 1 over here. So what I can do is that I don't require to divide this row by any mean. I can straight away fill this cell 2 1 1 0 0 and minus 1. To make a 0 here, what I have to do is that I require to multiply this by 3. So if I multiply this row by 3, that I am doing over here, 3 is my multiplying factor. So this is 6, this becomes 3, this is 3, 0 0 and minus 3. So if I do now this subtraction, so 12 minus 6 is 6, then 0 minus 3 is minus 3, 3 minus 3 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, and 3 minus minus 3, that becomes plus 6. Okay, and here I have a sign of minus 1. So what I will do, that straight away I will add over here. So 2 plus 0 is 2, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus minus 1 is 0, then 0 plus 1 is 1, then 0 plus 0 is 0, and 2 plus minus 1, that is plus 1. Now if I compute as Zj over here, so it will be 12. Yes, let me slide this. Yes, this will be 12. This will 6, this will be 6 0 0 and minus 6 minus 3. So if I do a Zj minus Cj, so 6 minus 3 is plus 3, 6 minus 6 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, 0, and this is minus 6. So, it is evident that my minus S3 variable is my incoming variable right now. So, if I highlight that part, so this will become my key column. Now, to divide our key row, 2 divided by 1, that is 2, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 2 divided by minus 1, that is not, this is not permissible. So, S2 is my living variable now. Yes, S2 is my living variable. So, this will become my key row. Yes. So, if I further process the next iteration, so in next iteration what I will do that I will yes, it is over here. Yes. So, in next iteration what I will do is that I will rewrite all these values, S1 as it is, S2 will leave and S3 will enter, and X2 will remain as it is. Yes, and their coefficient is 0, 0 and 6. Now, what I have is that here I have 6, I require to make this as a unity. So, what I will do is that I will divide this entire row by 6. So, if I am doing that, 6 by 6 is 1, minus 3 by 6 is minus half, this is 0, 0, this will be 1 by 6, and this is 1. Okay. Now, what I have to do is that I require to make a 0 over here. How can I make a 0 here? That simply I can add this row over here. Yes. So, if I do that, so 1 plus 2, that will be 3, minus half plus half, that is half, 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0, this will be 1 by 6, and minus 1 plus 1, that will be 0. So, this part is done. Yes. If I little bit allow it to slide. Yes, now it is visible to us that S1 row as well. So, for S1 row, if I do that, here I have a plus 1. So, what I will do that I require to subtract it. So, if I subtract this, so 2 minus 1 is 1, then 1 minus half, minus half. So, it will be 3 by 2, then 0, 0 is 0, then 1 minus 0 is 1, then 0 minus yes, this one is correct, let me check it, 1 minus 0 is 1, then 0 minus 1 by 6 is minus 1 by 6, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So, here I have done the iteration. If I compute a Zj here, this will be 18, 6 3s are 18, this will be 6 into half, it is 3, this will be 6, this is 0, this is 1 by 6, and this is 0. If I do a Zj minus Cj here, so 3 minus 3, which is not visible right now, Cj values, if I write here for our purpose that x1 has a 3, x2 has a 6, and this 3 have a 0 0. So, 3 minus 3 is 0, then 6 minus 6 is 0, this is 0, this is 1 by 6, and this is 0. Yes. So, now we have reached at our optimal condition, but see x1 which is my non-basic variable, okay, x1 which is my non-basic, still it has a 0, x2 has a 0, S1 has a 0 and S3 has a 0, it is fine, but along with that I have also have x1 over here is a 0. So, I hope that you can recall our previous lectures. So, in this case what I can have is that I can still go for multi-optimality, I can allow any particular row to as my incoming variable, but still we are not further processing that. What I will do is that my objective function will not get changed. So, if I am writing here, my objective function will be max z, which is my 18, and my x2 variable will be 3, and x1 will be 0 because it is not present in basic variable. Still I can allow x1 over here to enter, and still I can do the alterations, but though the answer will remain same.